Oops, I forgot to. Okay. So we'll begin laying on our backs. You can start with your knees bent, allowing the heaviness of the bones to settle and connect you to the earth. No, I didn't mean that to be private. Everyone, there we go. Yes, allow the heaviness of the bones to settle, especially the triangular bone at the base of your spine. And then if it's comfortable, to extend the heels away from the crown of the head, you can do that. If that causes any discomfort in your lower back, just keep the knees bent. Allow the feet to come a little bit wide and then let the legs fall together. So that will allow your low back to be supported and allow you to relax your legs. I guess I'm not going to type the chant in and we'll just have to roll with it because it's hard for me. Yes. So wherever you find yourself comfortably laying on your back, bring your awareness to your breath. And take a moment to observe the quality of your breath before we get moving. Notice if your chest feels tight or open, if your breath is short or long, if your inhales or exhales bear more weight in this moment. And then bring your awareness to your diaphragm. And we'll take a moment to intentionally deepen our breath. As you inhale, feel that muscle below the ribs expand downward. And as you exhale, feel your whole front body soften back and spread wide across the back body. With your next inhale, take your awareness past your diaphragm and breathe all the way down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And exhale. Sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Have a few more deep, long breaths, just like that. Inhale down, breathing your awareness into the body. And exhale, feeling the bones and joints stack in the back body plane. Connecting to that universal blueprint for optimal alignment, where the skeletal system can support us. And the spine aligns as an antenna, connecting us energetically to the whole universe. And then we're going to bring the soles of our feet together here in Supta Baddha Konasana. And we're going to spend a few minutes here. If it's too intense on the hips, you can always take a blanket, a block, a pillow, anything you have lying around nearby, and place it under the thighs. So the legs are supported as they begin to soften, release, and let go. From the bottoms of your feet and the tips of your toes, as you inhale, draw your awareness up through your legs, into your pelvis, your hips, your low back. Notice any areas of tension, soreness, general discomfort. And as you inhale deeply, breathe into those places, Gently open and expand with your in-breath. And as you exhale completely, allow tension to leave the body with the breath. Observe the hips here. Notice if one leg is tighter than the other, held up away from the ground more. And send a breath there. Using the breath to work the body from the inside out. Cultivating more balance and evenness in the opening and the grounding through the back body plane throughout the practice today. And with your next inhale, pull the awareness up your torso, into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Once again, just noticing where in your upper body you're holding tension today. And use your breath to bring your awareness there. Inhale deeply, breathe into those areas. Allow the in-breath to expand and make space. As you exhale completely, continue the conversation of consciously asking your body to soften, release, and let go. Lastly, bring your awareness into your mind and notice where your thoughts are at. Notice the speed at which they move through you and allow yourself to take a big step back from identifying as your thoughts and begin to witness their passing through your mind like clouds through the sky without getting attached or carried away, without judging yourself for what you're thinking about, but beginning to notice the habits and patterns in the way your mind turns and in the way that you speak to yourself. And then bring your awareness back and anchor it fully on your breath. Have a few more of those deep, long breaths, breathing the awareness down into the bottoms of your feet and the tips of your toes. And as you exhale completely, sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be held by the earth and held by this practice. When you are ready, you can inhale and draw the knees together and extend the legs out along the mat again. Shimmy out your hips a little bit here. And then we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest and allow the right knee to come out to the right side, reaching under your calf for a supine pigeon pose. So the right foot can be held by the left hand, right arm threads under behind the right knee. And we're still laying down on our back here. We're keeping our right foot flexed and active. The left toes also flexed and active. Left toes point straight up as you press the whole midline of the right leg firmly towards the floor. Drawing that right leg in towards the chest. The leg is parallel to the floor and perpendicular to your mat. And make sure you're rooting that outer right hip down towards the left heel. Feel that you are creating a balance and evenness in the grounding of your sacrum. And feel free to sway the leg from side to side a little bit if that feels good to you. You are welcome to stay right here or to grab the right foot with each hand and begin to turn the pinky toe of the foot towards your forehead and draw it in, lifting the head to meet the foot. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Continuing to press the left thigh bone towards the floor and to root the right thigh bone away from the crown of the head. Once you have had 3 breaths here, lower the chest and head to the floor. Release the right leg. Shimmy out the hips once again. Feel the different sensations and the different sides of your body. And then draw the left shin in towards the chest. Both feet are active. Right toes pointing straight up. Right inner thigh bone grounding down. Feel how that opens up through the right hip as you press out through the right heel. Holding that left foot in the right hand, reach the left hand behind the right knee. Drawing that shin in towards your chest while simultaneously rooting the outer left hip down towards your right heel. Feeling the stretch, being with your breath. Remembering that this is the very beginning of the practice, that we will return to this shape again and again. So you don't have to rip your leg out of the socket just yet. If you do want to play with deepening the stretch, take the left side of the left foot with the left hand and the right side with the right, and turn the foot in towards your face. As you lift the head, moving towards bringing the pinky toe towards the third eye. It is not happening for me today, and that's perfectly fine. Stay with your breath. Breathe into the places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And with each exhale, release a little tiny bit more. With your next exhale, lower the head to the floor. Release that left leg down to the mat. Shimmy out the hips a little bit here. And then draw your knees into your chest. Rock gently from side to side. Massage your low back. And with an exhale, roll to the right side. Press down with your palms to lift up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Connect with your shape from the foundation up. Looking for that same alignment that we created laying on our backs. The stacking of the bones and joints that brings alignment and lightness into our being. It may feel good to inner rotate your thighs here to move the flesh of the buttocks out and create more space at the base of the pelvis. Always remembering that if your pelvis is tilted back, the work is to lift from the base of the spine up. If that's not accessible, sitting up on a blanket or a block can help you get that leverage. We want the pelvis in a neutral position so that we can lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. When the pelvis is tilted back, it becomes nearly impossible to lift the heart and align the shoulders. From that grounding at the base of the pelvis, those 2 sit bones, inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. As you exhale, roll the shoulders together down and into your back body. Slide your jawbone back. Stack the bones and joints. Align this internal antenna that connects us to all things. And we are going deeply into the hips today. The hips are the site of the second chakra, which govern our sexuality, our emotions, and our subconscious creativity. The health and vitality of the whole body, but specifically this area of the body, has to do with its capacity to release, to eliminate, to allow things to move through us. And then in this modern world, where we spend a lot of time sitting in chairs and in cars, our hips get really, really tight. It is said that the hips are where we hold our traumas and dramas. And so I always think about the work of going deeply into the hips as the work of plunging into your own darkness and really remembering how important the darkness is. Sometimes in yogic community circles, it can be just all about love and light, to the detriment of the reality that life can be hard, that we have all experienced suffering and trauma. And that when we refuse to look at those things, we create blocks and walls within ourselves. We cut ourselves off from pieces of ourselves that are important. And this process of looking at those things that we've buried, that at some point we believed were too shameful, too horrible to actually acknowledge, is the process of healing. We do it as individuals, but none of our traumas, our suffering, really happens in isolation. There are common themes that thread through all layers and levels of our society. So as we do this work for ourselves, we are a mirror. We are showing others, we are guiding them, we are removing some of the stigma and creating space for the collective to get on board and step up and heal. Being in isolation, for me, has been a great time to watch what arises, being like in my house with my family 24/7. And it's, a lot of the same shit that I've been working on for a long fucking time, because of how I was raised. And, I have a lot of anger. I am very loud. I say what I feel, sometimes without thinking. And although I've been in this practice super hard for about 8 years, and I've done a lot of work, and I've come really far, it's important to remember that there is always more. And it's a practice, so we get better at digging in. We get better at seeing the nuances and intricacies, at naming them so that we can clear them, release them, banish them, and let them go. So that's what we'll think about while we practice today. We're gonna start with a chant. It's the same chant that we did on Monday. These three Vinyasa classes this week are working together, building and deepening throughout. So I didn't get a chance to type the whole chant in. I typed the first line in. It's the chant to Kali and Durga, the goddesses of destruction and the slaying of demons. And it's Kali, Durga, Namo, Nama, which is I bow to you. Kali, Durga, Hey Kali Ma. And the last two lines, Uma, Parvati, Ananda Ma. So Parvati is the goddess of fertility, beauty, children, family, love. And we're calling on Kali and Durga to help facilitate the destruction of the clearing out of what is no longer serving us, to make space for this beauty, this love, this fertility of new growth, fulfillment, and anandama, bliss, which is the actual goal of a yoga practice, to get to a place where we are content, even blissful in all moments, despite our struggles, despite the suffering we've experienced and the suffering that still goes on around us. So with an inhale, you can reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale through the mouth with sound. Let go. We're gonna do that 3 times. So inhale, stretch past your skin and fingertips. And exhale, release. Once more, clearing your body out energetically. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. We'll inhale to prepare for the sound of Om 3 times together. We'll do the chant, call, and response. You're welcome to unmute yourself if you want to feel more togetherness. I understand that may make you feel really vulnerable, which is how chanting still always makes me feel. But that pushing up against the edge of our fears is a big part of this work. So we'll inhale to prepare for Om. I'll let you know when it's your turn. Your turn. pausing in silence to observe those vibrations as they resonate through your body, particularly noticing where sound gets stuck, where the body constricts. Remembering that all of these practices are just to help us gather information about where the energy in our bodies are getting blocked so that we can use our awareness to hone in on it, to make adjustments, to create more ease and space and freedom for health and vitality to flow through us. We'll take a moment to connect more deeply to our breath, cultivating Ujjayi breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, while tightening up through the back of the throat like you're fogging up a mirror. So you can begin and just breathe at your own pace, allowing the breath to become gently audible. Sounds like waves crashing on the shore, which gives the mind a focal point to steady it as we witness what arises, abides, and dissolves throughout the practice. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose in general slows the breath down, so it's calming for the nervous system. Tightening up through the back of the throat, further constricting the air passageway, begins to generate a heat in the body, which is another one of the tools that we use to clear our energy channels out. You can continue with this Ujjayi breath for the whole practice. When you are ready with an inhale, gently open your eyes. And we'll come onto our hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide. Ground your knees right under your hips. As you inhale, drop your abdomen down, lift your gaze, and tilt your tailbone up. As you exhale, root your tailbone down, tuck the chin into the chest, curl your spine to the ceiling. Continue at your own pace, cat-cow. Sync the motions of your body with your breath. Use your breath to deepen the motions of your body. Allow that synchronicity to bring you fully and completely into the present moment. And move in any way that feels good to you within the confines of the shapes. Allow your mind to connect with and receive the wisdom of your body. It might feel good to begin to circle the hips in one direction. Breathing into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. After a few rounds, you can circle your hips in the other direction. Feeling free to pause and explore with curiosity the areas that feel tight. Using your breath to go there and allowing your exhales to facilitate release. When you are ready, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and press back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal your feet, sway your hips, or move in any way that feels good to you. Remembering to listen to your body and honor its edges throughout your practice today. Even more important than usual because you don't have a physical teacher present in the room with you. Once you've gotten your wiggles out, find a moment of stillness Make sure your hands and feet are evenly grounded. Outer edge of the feet turn parallel with outer edge of the mat. Can you feel that rotate the thigh bone into the hip socket? All the way up the leg. If your hips are tight and the low back rounded, it may be useful to take a slight bend to the knees, bend them right over your ankles, and then everybody inhale and lift the hips high. Lift your abdomen towards your spine. Exhale, press your thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling, and allow your head to hang heavy. Feel how that action in the thigh bones creates space in the lower back, and how that space in the lower back is reflected in the neck. Have one more big breath. And with an inhale, fold forward into your plank pose and pause here. With your hips at the height of your shoulders, your thigh bones lift a little bit, and then draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down. Send energy through the legs, out the heels, and from that inhale, lift your abdomen. Extend the crown of the head forward. Breathe length and space into your spine. Exhale, lower. Knees, chest, chin to the mat. And pause here with your booty lifted. Feel this curve in your lower back. And then root your tailbone down towards your heels and feel the low abdomen engage. Maintain that engagement as you press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, lift your heart. Roll your shoulders back. The energy from the tailbone still rooting towards the heels as you lift the heart and the crown of the head. Press your pinky toenail into the floor and feel the sacrum spread. With your next exhale, seat to heels. Come into child's pose. Allow the weight of your hips to settle energetically towards your heels. And from that grounding in your lower body, inhale and walk the fingertips forward. Breathe length and space into each vertebrae in the spine. And as you exhale completely, soften more deeply into the stretch. With your next inhale, we're gonna widen the left hip to the left, lift your abdomen, walk your hands to the right. Place the abdomen down on the right thigh. Stretch back through that outer left hip. Have 3 deep, long breaths. Breathe length and space into both side bodies and sides of your neck. And with each exhale, see what you can let go of. And inhale returns you to center. Exhale, pause here. Widen your right hip to the right as you inhale and lift the abdomen. Walk the hands to the left. Place the abdomen on the left thigh for 3 deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, return to center. Exhale here. Inhale, rise, hands and knees, arch your back, gaze up. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, press it back. Downward facing dog. Again, checking in with your foundation. Outer edge of your feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Bending the knees slightly if that is useful to you. It's also useful if you have knees that hyperextend. Then we inhale, lift and spread the fingers and toes. Feel the energy draw in and up the forearms and shins. Ground down without losing that engagement. From that grounding, inhale and lift the hips high. Lift from the back of the knees to the sits bones. As you exhale, thigh bones back. Press from the back of the knees through the heels. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Each inhale, drawing in and up from the floor to the core. Each exhale, extending out in all directions. Stretching the arms and legs for the health, the space, the freedom of the spine. And with an inhale, begin to walk the fingertips forward to meet your hands. Come into a standing forward bend at the front of your mat. Let your head be heavy. Shake it out, yes. And no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to you to release tension from your back, your shoulders, and your neck. Let it go through the crown of the head. With an inhale, return to center and exhale. Release the arms as you exhale through the mouth with sound. The next inhale begins to roll your spine up. First, the pelvis spins around the femur bones. The vertebrae stack. The shoulders and the head are the last things to rise. Tadasana, mountain pose. So just taking a moment to check in with your alignment and foundation once again. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Again, this is turning the thigh bone in the hip socket. Most of us tend to be with our feet out and our hips forward and wonder why our lower back hurts. Turn the feet and stick your booty out behind you. Take the center of your hips over your knees and ankles and keep that. So it's a balance of these two actions as you draw the center of your buttocks into the midline to root your tailbone down. That allows you to lift the pelvic triangle, the low belly, the pelvic floor, in and up, creating containment and compaction at the hips so that things can flow through the middle. These actions also make space in the lower back. Thigh bones back, broadens the sacrum. Tailbone rooted, lengthens the sacrum. So feeling super strong and stable and steady, we will salute the sun. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen your spine. Lifting from the back of the knees up. Exhale, ground your palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that same alignment. Thigh bones back, center of the buttocks into the midline. That activation through the legs that supports the lower back. Always an option to lower the knees down as you shift the weight forward and bend the elbows just to 90 degrees. Press the tops of the feet down and inhale, lift your heart. Roll your shoulders back. Center of the buttocks into the midline. Exhale, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Check in with the foundation. Inhale, lift and spread the fingers and toes. Lift the abdomen towards the spine and lift the hips high. Exhale, extend through the four corners of the hands, the feet, the crown of the head. The first direction of this pose is up, and the second direction is back, led by the thigh bones. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump your feet to meet your hands. Get length through your spine. And exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Come to stand. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Check back in with your foundation. Find that balance between thigh bones back and center of the buttocks into the midline. The grounding now that enables us to inhale and lift the arms. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, lift from the back of the knees to the thigh bone, the sits bones. Exhale, ground your palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that same activation in the legs and maintain it as you exhale and lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Pinky toenails rounded. Center of the buttocks into the midline. Exhale, lift your hips. Return to your breath. Any places that feel sagging or compressed, that is a sign and a signal to make an adjustment. There's always a lift from the underside of the pose. With an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through your spine, and exhale, fold deeply into your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, ground your palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that lift from the underside, and exhale, lower. Inhale, roll the shoulders into the back body. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Finding that lift of the abdomen and the hips, the pressing back of the thigh bones that creates space in the spine. And when the bones and joints of the spine stack, where can you soften, release, and let go? One more big breath. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get length through your spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Come to stand. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Inhale, arms reach up. Drop your seat, chair pose. Same actions. Sticking your booty out, thigh bones back to get low. Draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to lift the pelvic triangle, to lean into the back body and stack the bones and joints. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Checking in on your knees. The knees have to bend over the ankles, whether the feet are together or apart. We do not want our feet turned out and our knees bending in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground your palms, step or jump back to plank. And feel free to come to downward facing dog or to move through a vinyasa. Being with your breath, whatever choice you make. And choosing what honors your body. Inhale your right leg high. Lift from your inner thigh in the center of your heel. Press the left thigh bone back. Gaze at your hips. Cultivate that balance and evenness. One more breath. And exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Adding on to our sequence from Monday, front knee stacks over the front ankle, reach behind with the right hand for the left foot. Same actions. You can also use a strap or a scarf here. Stick your booty out towards your heel, root your tailbone down, take the whole center of the buttocks forward and take the heel with you. Feel that deep stretch through the quad, the hip flexor, the psoas as you inhale. Breathe length and space into the spine. Lean into the back body to stack the shoulders and open the heart. Have one more big breath here. And exhale, release. Ground your palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Lift from the inner thigh in the center of the heel. Press that right thigh bone back and look at your hips. What adjustments do you need to make to bring balance and evenness into the pelvis? Then inhale and breathe it into both side bodies and sides of your neck. Exhale, step the left foot through. Lower the left knee down, right knee down, excuse me. Left knee stacks over the ankle. Reach the left arm around behind you as you bend the right knee. Grab the right foot or ankle. Stick your booty out, thigh bones back. Root your tailbone down. Take the center of the buttocks forward and take the foot with you. Inhale, lift the abdomen and breathe length and space into the spine. And exhale, lean into the back body. Stack the shoulders, open the heart. 3 breaths. Exhale, release. Ground your palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward dog or child's pose. Your choice. Whatever choice you make, anchor your awareness back on your breath. Cultivate that ujjayi breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, tightening up through the back of the throat, generating sound and heat to clear the body out. And if you are inspired, I do it constantly. If there's something you want to let go of, a big exhale through the mouth with sound. Feels so damn good. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Get leg through the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, drop the seat. Arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms reach up, drop your seat. Utkatasana, chair pose. Thigh bones back. Tailbone grounding. Pelvic triangle, lifting in and up towards the back body. One more big breath. And exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Come to downward facing dog or move through your vinyasa. Inhale, your right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise this time, warrior 1 at the top of your breath. Finding all of those same actions. Hug your legs towards each other like scissors. Feel how that inner rotates the back thigh bone. Root your tailbone down towards your back heel. And then take the whole center of the buttocks, midline, towards the front of the room. Lift the pelvic triangle, the thigh bone off the hip bone off the front thigh. And then we're going to interlace the hands behind us. Inhale, lift your heart, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Coming down on the inside edge of the front knee. And you can look at your hips again here. What adjustments must you make to create balance and evenness in the grounding of your body so you can experience your emotions deeply without being completely overwhelmed and swept away by every little thing? Exhale, release the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Hug your legs towards each other like scissors. Feel how that takes the back thigh bone back and rotates it inward. Tailbone roots down. Front hip bone lifts away from the front thigh bone. And the whole center of the buttocks moves into the midline of the body. With an exhale, switch out the crossing of your hands as you interlace them behind your back. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the sternum. Exhale, fold forward on the inside edge of your front leg. Bowing warrior. Humbly shifting your gaze inward and doing your personal work. All any of us really have control over anyways. Back thigh bone back and inner rotates. Center of the buttocks into the midline. One more big breath. And exhale, release. Ground your palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward dog or child's pose. Wherever you find yourself working, return the awareness to anchor on the breath. As you focus the conscious mind on the breath, observe what floats through the subconscious. Observe what stays, what is eternal, and what kind of shit just kind of passes through, right? Always looking through this practice to connect to the deepest parts of ourselves. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. One more time. Inhale, arms reach up, drop your seat. Thigh bones back, tailbone rooted. One more big breath. And exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Feeling free to come to down dog or to take yourself through a vinyasa. Inhale, right leg high. This time, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up through the side body plane. As you inhale, your belly button lifts towards your spine and your right knee lifts high. As you exhale, left thigh bone presses back, still, not crunching the lower back on the left side, even here. Have one more big breath. And then inhale your right leg to center. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, open to the side. Warrior two. Find that deep end in your front knee. Still stacking it over the ankle. Back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle of the back leg and inner rotated slightly. Both thigh bones press back to fully open the hips in the side body plane. Tailbone roots down right between the sits bones. Have one more big breath here. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, widen your hips back as you reach your fingertips forward. The whole pelvis shifts to come down into your triangle pose. That front thigh bone is pressing back towards the back thigh bone, and the front buttock is hugging in to the midline of the body. With an exhale, bring your left hand onto your left hip. Hop your back foot in. Scoot your fingertips out or slide your front foot back if the space is limited. Press down through the right big toe mound and out through both heels as you rise into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Stack the hips and shoulders, same action. Standing thigh bone back, buttock into the midline of the body. You are welcome to stay here or to bend the left leg and reach for the left foot with the left hand. Stick your booty out towards your heel and then root your tailbone down through that lifted knee and standing heel. Kick the foot into the hand, pull the hand on the foot, Ardha Chandra Chapasana. 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release, landing that left foot back behind you. Cartwheel your hands to the mat, step back, move through a vinyasa, or come to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, bend your knees, stack your hips, open up through the side body plane. Inhale, lift the knee and lift the abdomen towards the spine. Exhale, right thigh bone, especially outer right hip, back. Feel that lengthened space on both sides of the pelvis and low back. 1 more breath. Inhale the left leg to center and exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior 2. Deep bend in your front knee, right over your ankle. Back thigh back, in line with the knee and ankle and inner rotated. So that as both thigh bones press back, hips fully open in the side body plane. Frontal hip lifts away from the front thigh bone. Have 1 more big breath here. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. As you exhale, widen the hips back. The inner thigh presses back and the front thigh bone presses back, so the whole pelvis shifts. Side body's long as you come down into triangle pose. Check back in, making sure that the back thigh bone is back, even as the hip lifts up. Front thigh bone cuts back towards the back thigh bone to lengthen the lower back on the left side. Buttock into the midline of the body. Bring your right hand to your hip. Bend the front knee. Hop the back foot forward or scoot the front foot back. Left big toe is your anchor. Press down to lift up. Half moon. Stack the hips and shoulders. Same thing, standing thigh bone back. And that front buttock into the midline of the body to lift the back hip up. Welcome to stay here. Or if you did so on the other side, bend the right knee. Grab the right foot with the right hand. Stick your booty out towards your heel and root down. Feel the quad stretch as you kick the foot into the hand, pull the hand on the foot, and open in the side body plane. 3 breaths. With an exhale, open back up and bend the knee. Let the foot land behind you. Cartwheel the hands down, step back, move through a vinyasa, or come to downward facing dog or child's pose. Wherever you are, forget about what just happened. Anchor your awareness in the present moment with your breath. Feel the pulsations. The grounding down to lift up. The drawing in and up to shine out. Both the containment on the outside and the flow on the inside of the pelvis and the whole body. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump your feet to meet your hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, drop your seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay, I have to restart the video on Instagram and then we will go onward. Feel free to grab some water at this point or take a little break. Okay, here we go. So at the top of the mat, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. And exhale, step your left foot back. You're gonna take your right foot out to the right side of your mat and bring both hands to ground inside your right foot for a lizard prep pose. Still lifting that back thigh bone and hugging the center of the buttocks into the midline. You are welcome to stay here or to lower your back knee or to lower onto your forearms or even to bend your back knee and reach for it with your right hand. So a deeper version of that first stretch we did. Whatever variation you're in, stick your booty out towards your heel or stick your booty up. Draw the center of the buttocks into the midline. Take the pelvis forward. Have 5 more deep, long breaths wherever you're at. Keep the right big toe grounded so the hip is not going to come out of the femur is not going to come out of the hip socket here. If you are holding your foot with an exhale, release. Inhale, ground the palms and rise. Step your back foot forward. And with the feet wide, lower the hips down, Vinyasa. We did this last time. Most important part is that you get your heels grounded and that your feet are in line with the knees. So however much your knees turn out is how much your feet should turn out. We don't want our feet turning out more than our knees. It will strain our inner knees over time. If you need some support for your heels, you can roll your mat up and place your heels there. You are also welcome to grab a blanket if you have that, or even to just keep your hands grounded as you really work on letting the tailbone settle and the heels come to the floor. If it is accessible, you can bring your hands to your heart. Press the arms and the legs together. Press the hands together and use that as leverage to roll your shoulders back. And if it's easy for you to ground the heels, you can move towards turning your feet to face forward more and bringing them in closer, allowing the compression at the hip joint to soften the hip flexor muscles. Wow, we've already been here for a long time and I just won't stop talking. 3 more breaths. Right. And with an exhale, you can ground your palms. Inhale, lift the hips, lengthen your spine. Exhale, right leg back this time. So both hands are inside the left foot. The left foot is still parallel with the outside edge of the mat. You can move it out towards the left side more if that feels good to you. Front knee still stacks over the ankle. Lift your back thigh bone, widen it to the right. Hug the center of the buttocks into the midline to align the pelvis, and then choose your own adventure. Whatever variation you took on the other side, maybe bending your back knee down, maybe lowering onto your forearms, maybe reaching the left hand around for the right foot. Either way, come back to these actions of the pelvis. Lift your thigh bone, stick your booty out. Draw the center of the buttocks into the midline. Take the whole pelvis forward and down. 3 more deep, long breaths. Lean into the back body. Stack the heart to open the shoulders. Or whatever. Backwards. Good. Once you've had 3 breaths, exhale and release. Ground the palms. Next, inhale, step your back foot forward. Exhale, lower the pelvis down. You are welcome to stay here in your Malasana or to play again with Titivasana, firefly pose. So we go through the same shit over and over again, refining our practice of it. Doing it, 3 days in the week will really help you see yourself get stronger. If you want to do firefly, you're lifting your hips a little bit and you're taking your shoulders like under and behind your legs as much as possible. Grounding your hands behind your heels. Sit back on your arms. First step is just crossing the feet and balancing. Maybe you begin to straighten your legs. Wherever you're working, have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. Maybe you can play with lifting the hips, coming to crow pose. Maybe you can play with kicking your feet back. Remembering that there's just always more work. The practice never ends, right? Move through a vinyasa, or come to child's pose or down dog. Just taking a moment to check back in with the quality of your breath, the tension in your body, and the speed of your thoughts through your mind in this moment. And then we will meet back in down dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, swing the foot through. Outside your wrist, right foot grounds behind your left wrist. You can flex the right foot or point it, but keep it active to keep it in line with your knee joint. And the shin moves towards becoming parallel with the front end of your mat, but you can also bring that right heel back towards the left hip for more accessibility in your pigeon prep pose. Wherever you're working, all of the alignment principles are the same. So we are hugging our legs together, which takes our thigh bones back. Inner rotates the back thigh, brings the hip forward. Allow your tailbone to root down and lift the pelvic triangle in and up. You are welcome to stay here or play with bending your back knee. Placing the left foot in the left elbow crease. Maybe reaching the right arm behind your head for mermaid pose. Wherever you're working, have 5 breaths. And with that 5th exhale, you can release the leg and fold forward. Woo! We're gonna do 10 breaths here in this folded forward variation of pigeon pose. Use the breath to go into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, soften more deeply. Once you've had 10 breaths, with an inhale, rise onto the palms. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Feel free to move in any way that feels good to you here to unwind from that very deep hip stretch, right? And then we'll meet in regular old down dog. And with an inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, swing it through, grounding the outer edge of the left foot behind the right wrist. That foot is either flexed or pointed, but it's active. The outside edge of the foot presses into the floor. Moving the shin parallel to the front edge of your mat will deepen the hip opening. Moving the heel back towards your right hip will make it slightly more accessible. It's still difficult, right? And then we're finding the actions, hugging the legs together, which inner rotates the back thigh. It lifts you up and out of the pose a little bit, but it allows you to be in alignment. Tailbone rooting down, frontal hip bones lifting up. You're welcome to stay here or to play with bending the right knee and placing the right foot in the right elbow crease. Left arm reaches around behind for those right fingertips. Wherever you're working, 5 more deep, long breaths. And with that fifth exhale, release the foot and fold forward. 10 breaths here. Use the breath to go into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. As you exhale, sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be held as you release and let go. Good. With an inhale, ground the palms and lift the chest. Exhale, press back to some variation of down dog, moving in any way that feels good to you as you unwind from that deep hip stretch. Good. What time is it? It's time to wind down. Never enough time. Okay. We'll come all the way forward onto our abdomen. Rise up onto the forearms for a Sphinx pose. Root your tailbone down towards your heels. Press your pinky toes down. Turn your left forearm in at a 45-degree angle. Bend your right foot behind you. Reach for the right foot with the right hand. And if it's accessible, you're spinning your hand around so your fingers are in the same direction as your toes and your elbow lifts up. We don't want to let the knees splay out here. The knees are no wider than the hips. Rounding straight back out of the hip socket. Press down with the foot. And root your tailbone down again. Draw your low belly in towards the spine. Maybe you want to straighten your front arm. Bring the left shoulder back and the right shoulder forward. Have 5 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Pause on your forearms. You can shimmy out your hips a little bit here. Pulling from the fingertips back to roll the shoulders back. Press the pinky toes down. Turn the right forearm in at a 45-degree angle. Bend the left leg behind you. Reach for the left foot with the left hand. Maybe spinning your fingers around to face the same direction as your toes. Elbow lifts up. Root your tailbone down towards your knee and heel of the straight leg. Lift your low abdomen and press the foot towards the outside of the buttocks. If you did so on the other side, straighten your front arm. Right shoulder draws back, left shoulder draws forward. Have 5 breaths. And exhale, release. You can shimmy out your hips a little bit again. And then we're gonna rise up onto our knees. Knees as wide as the hips. Center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down. The hips stay over the knees. Interlace your hands behind your back. With an inhale, lift the sternum and draw the arms away from the back body. Next inhale lifts the sternum and the gaze. Exhale, draw the arms away. Have 3 more breaths. Each inhale, lifting the sternum. Each exhale, drawing the arms away. Maybe you can bring the hands to the heels for camel pose, but do not collapse into your lower back or neck. Continue to lift the sternum and draw the arms away from the back body. With an inhale, rise. And then bring the knees together and sit back on your heels or between your heels for Virasana, heel pose, or hero's pose. I like to roll my calves out to give myself more space to sit down. All the toenails press into the mat, especially the pinky toe. If this is like sharp shooting pain in your knees or hips, take another seat. We just want to allow the pelvis to ground down and to lift and lengthen through the heart and crown. If this feels okay on your knees and hips, maybe you want to play with leaning back. Lift the hips and root the tailbone towards the knees as you lower down onto your forearms. Maybe you want to stay right here. We don't want to let the knees splay out. Lift the hips and root the tailbone down. Maybe you want to lay all the way down on your back and reach your arms overhead. Remembering to listen to and honor your body. Sitting straight up might be a deep enough stretch for today. Wherever you're working, have 5 breaths. Continuing to root the tailbone down to soften the low ribs down and back. When you are ready to rise, bring the arms out to the side. Press into the palms to lift the heart. Allow the head to be the last thing to rise. One more time, stand on your knees. Knees as wide as the hips. Feet extend straight back. The whole top of the foot and the calf is your foundation here. We don't want to tuck up on the toes because we're losing the foundation. Switch out the crossing of your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, draw the arms away. Root the tailbone down and inhale, lift the sternum and the gaze. Exhale, draw the arms away. Take whatever variation you did on the other side without collapsing into the low back or neck. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, one more time. Sitting back between the heels if it's accessible. If that is not accessible, we're gonna do a little bit of a forward fold and twist here. So if this is like painful on the hips and knees beyond stretching, you want to listen to that. And you can come into Baddha Konasana with the feet out in front of you. If it's accessible to stay here on the knees, we're going to bring the right foot forward. If you're in Baddha Konasana, you can also bring your right foot forward. Both sits bones ground down. Inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. Exhale, fold forward over that straight right leg. Your hands can ground by your calf. They can reach towards your foot. Eventually, right hand grabs the left wrist behind your foot, allowing you to draw the abdomen back and root the sits bones down. As you inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, fold more deeply. 5 breaths. And with an inhale, rise. If you are here, that's great. You're just gonna cross this foot over, right foot over left knee. If you are here, we were here, you're gonna bend the right knee in and maybe place the foot in the hip crease. If it doesn't go to the hip crease, just anywhere you can cross it on your leg. If that's not accessible, bring it inside the leg. And then we're gonna inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, twist. If you're here, that left elbow comes outside the right knee, or the left hand comes outside the right knee. If the foot is in the hip crease, you can reach the right hand around behind yogi toe lock on that right big toe. Either way, both sits bones ground. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown. Exhale, deepen your twist. Draw your shoulders together down and into your back body. Have 5 breaths. Feel what you're doing in your neck and center the head over the rest of the spine. Good. Release. Extend both legs out. We're going to switch sides. So if you did the foot back in hero's pose on the left side, you're going to do that with your right leg. If you had the foot in towards the groin, like Yani Shirshasana, you can take that same shape you took on the other side. But either way, both sits bones ground down. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the heart and crown. Exhale, fold forward. Bringing your hands outside your calf, maybe onto your foot. Maybe left hand grabs the right wrist behind your foot. Pressing the foot into the hands and then pulling the abdomen back and rooting the tailbone and the sits bones down. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, draw it out towards your foot. 5 deep, long breaths. Good, with an inhale, rise. And if you were here, we're crossing that left foot over the right knee for a twist. If you were here, maybe drawing that left knee in, closing the knee joint so the hinge is protected, placing the foot in the hip crease or on the thigh somewhere. Either way, we're grounding our fingertips by our hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow can come outside the left knee. They push into each other, or right hand outside the left knee. If you did so on the other side, the left peace fingers reach around behind for the left big toe. Whatever variation, the alignment is the same. Both sits bones ground down. From the base of the spine, lift and lengthen through the crown. As you exhale, deepen your twist. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and into the back body. 5 breaths. Feel what you're doing in your neck and make any adjustments you need to return to center. And with an exhale, release. Bring both legs out in front of you. Ground your fingertips behind you. Lift your shins parallel to the earth. Keeping the shoulders drawn together down and into the spine, lift the hands. Maybe straighten the legs. 5 breaths. Bring the hands behind the head and with an exhale, curl back. Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. 5 breaths. And exhale, release. Shavasana, final relaxation. If there's discomfort in the lower back when you lay flat, remember you can always bend your knees, ground your feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall together. Also, always an option to put your legs up on a chair or the couch. One of my favorite ways to take Shavasana. Wherever you find yourself, return your awareness to your breath. Allow it to be so deep and so long that it touches down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale, release any residual tension, anxiety, criticalness, or self-doubt from the body with the breath through the fingertips. Allowing this process to empty us out, making space for the essence of who we truly are and what we have to offer to shine through. take this moment to savor anything you've received, any wisdom you've received, any nonsense you are able to release from the body and mind through the practice today. And begin to intentionally deepen your inhales. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Gently sway your head. With an inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw your knees into your chest. And exhale, roll to the right side body. Use that right arm as a pillow as you pause in fetal position. Move slowly as you transition. Press down with the palms to lift up. Return to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Check back in the quality of your breath, the tension in your body, the speed of the thoughts through your mind in this moment. And then bring the awareness back and anchor it fully on your breath. We will seal our collective efforts with a single Om. Inhale deeply. Bring your hands to your heart and bow your head in gratitude for the tools of this practice that takes us deeply inward to face and slay our own demons so we can evolve into our best selves. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great day. The classes just keep getting longer and longer, so I apologize. Trying to rein it in. But it was nice to see your faces.
Nice to see you too. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you. Bye.